Conservative New Media viewers, Jeremy Lin fans around the world, Charlotte Hornets fans around the world. What's up? It's me, PFV Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. We're here to discuss the Charlotte Hornets 106-100 victory in preseason game number 1 of the 2015-2016 season. Now, for those of you who are new to these videos, and I'm sure there's going to be a few of you who are, because you're Charlotte Hornets fans, you've never heard us before, this is the time in the video when I go, woo, because the team won and Jeremy Lin did well, particularly because the team won. Look, this was, there's so many things to say about this game, and I just going to tell you right now, this is not going to be as organized as it usually is for me, just because I'm so excited right now and I got caught up in the game, and there's a number of different things that happen in this game. I'm going to try to keep it as simple as I can and probably or hopefully relatively short, just to get it up because I know everybody else is pumped up too. The things that I noticed in this game the most were the Hornets started Marvin Williams, which if you listen to our videos is something that we discussed that they were looking at doing and might consider doing this season. And obviously that is on Coach Steve Clifford's mind because that's the alignment they went with tonight. Charlotte shot 31 three-pointers tonight. I'd have to look at how many they averaged last year, but it was not many. And it certainly wasn't 31. I'm quite sure of that. And they hit 39% of them, which is a very good percentage, and it's definitely better than the percentage that they shot last year, which I want to say it's around 31-point-something%. So what you're seeing with the Charlotte Hornets now, if you're a longtime Charlotte Hornets fan, you're seeing a transition to a new style of offense and a new way of playing. What you did not see a lot in this game was you did not see what is known as quote-unquote Al-fence, which means running the ball through Al Jefferson and then kicking it out to shooters. I'm not saying Al didn't do anything. He did do some things, but he only had 4 field goal attempts in this entire game. Okay? What the Hornets are trying to do is they're trying to spread the ball around, shoot three-pointers, get up more shots, get out in transition, and I loved what I saw. I loved it. This is the way to play, and now the team has the depth and the skills players to be able to play this way, and that's what they did tonight. Look, the first unit really didn't have it in the first quarter. And then the backups came in, and they did well in the second quarter. And then I think that performance by the backups kind of geeked up the starters. And I think the starters for Charlotte were like, you know what? Those guys played pretty well. Our backups, we need to play well as starters. And then they came out in the third quarter, and they put it on Orlando. I love the way that Kemba came out after halftime. He had 7-9-something points in the third quarter. He was on fire. And he didn't perform that great in the first half, and I think he took it a little personally that Jeremy Lin did pretty well. And so he wanted to come out and get something done, and that's exactly what he did. And so did the rest of the first unit. And they did it by playing team ball. They moved the ball. And what you're seeing, what I saw tonight, was unselfish basketball. How unselfish? How about this? 34 made field goals for Charlotte, 30 assists. Okay? So only 4 baskets in this entire game by the Hornets were isolation baskets. That's a different style. Now, I didn't watch the Hornets game in and game out last year, but I know how they play, and I understand the criticisms of their offense. This is a different animal, what that they showed tonight. And this is something that can succeed. And it was fun to watch. It wasn't boring. And it's going to get better because that second unit is brand new, and they don't even know what they're doing yet together. You got guys like Frank Kaminsky who looked like his feet were on fire in this game. He just seemed so nervous and kind of geeked up. He still hit a big 3, though, I think, late in the game. This is going to improve. But I love the way the team played. I like that they're overhauling the offense and that they've overhauled the personnel so that they can play another type of offense. I love the way the backups played, and I love the way Jeremy Lin played in this game. And I love the way that Coach Clifford allowed Jeremy Lin to play in this game. It's so darn simple when it comes to Jeremy Lin. And again, if you're not used to these videos, we cover Jeremy Lin. So whatever team Jeremy Lin's on, we will cover that team's games, and we will discuss the games game by game. We do a video for every single game. Sometimes we do multiple videos for one game, unless something comes up for us and we just can't do it or something. What Steve Clifford let Jeremy Lin be Jeremy Lin tonight. He let him handle the ball a lot. He ran pick and rolls for him. And what happened? Easy baskets, trips to the free throw line, wide open jump shots. Wide open. I mean, easy layups, like the one that Jeremy scored to basically put the game away at 105 to 100. This is basic freaking basketball. And I don't want to get into recounting and rehashing everything that's happened with Jeremy in the past or different teams. He's very good at doing this. And if you let him do it, you will guarantee yourself a whole bunch of easy, open opportunities or points right at the rim. And that's exactly what happened in this game tonight. And Jeremy early on in this game had 2 turnovers. And that was the only 2 turnovers he had in the whole game. He led the Hornets 17 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists. Shot 5 of 10 from the field, including 2 of 4 from three-point range, 5 of 6 from the free throw line, 25 minutes, 2 turnovers, plus minus was a -7. His PER figure was through the roof this game. I can't give an exact number, but it was very high, just like a measure of efficiency and kind of how he did individually. The worst news of this game, obviously, is the injury to Michael Kidd-Gilchrist. And as I make this video right here, right now, I don't know the extent of the injury. But if you saw what happened to him, it did not look good. And I don't want to speculate too much, but I've had shoulder injuries, and that really didn't look good. And because he just slipped, nobody hit him, he slipped, and he fell right on the floor, and he fell right on his shoulder. Hopefully, it's just a bruised shoulder. Like no real damage, but just a lot of pain and the bone's bruised, but there's nothing more. We certainly wish him the best. Hopefully he'll recover quickly. He's a good guy. He's worked hard on his game. You really hope that he doesn't have any lingering type of an injury or any serious tear or dislocation or anything like that. 5 Hornets players were in double figures, including 2 of the newcomers. Jeremy Lin, 17. Jeremy Lamb, 16. He found his spots pretty well tonight, too, and he had to play some extra minutes because of the injury to Kidd-Gilchrist. Kemba with 13 points. Nicholas Batum, 14 points. Cody Zeller, 10 points. If Charlotte is playing their best and they're at their full strength, they're as good or better than the Magic. But to be fair to the Magic, they were missing some of their top guys. They were missing Nikola Vucevic. They were missing Aaron Gordon. They were missing Evan Fournier. That's a lot of firepower out of the lineup. So we can't get too giddy about this. And, of course, this is, after all, a preseason game, and there's no real meaning in the wins and losses there. Still, this was nice. There are only 13 turnovers for the Hornets. They're noted for their low turnovers. They did a good job of that tonight, and a lot of the turnovers came from the second unit, kind of in a bunch. There was a little bit of pressure on the Hornets down the stretch of this game. They responded well to that. I think we're already seeing some chemistry with the second unit. I could see some chemistry between Jeremy Lin and Spencer Hawes. Nicholas Batum is easy to play with. He's finding guys and making plays. He saw Kemba on a nice back cut on a play that I think Kemba got fouled on. So Nick's going to fit in well because that's the way he plays. He's a guy that will adjust and adapt to whatever situation you put him into because he's so unselfish. So I liked what I saw. I loved the way that the Hornets played offense in this game. And Marvin Williams really spreads out the floor. He really spaces the floor exactly the way in which Coach Clifford has talked about the team wanting to be able to do. And if you're the Charlotte Hornets coaching staff and executives, in my opinion, you see this game, you are now one step closer to Marvin Williams is going to be your starter on opening day because it definitely worked tonight. It definitely worked tonight. And when they went on that run in the third quarter, the first unit was out there, Marvin Williams was out there, and the ball was all swinging all over the place around the perimeter, and there was just tons of space to operate because of that. So great win. Again, I'm sorry. I could go over more technical things and some more stuff and play-by-play and quarter-by-quarter, but I'm just going to keep it simple tonight. There's a game tomorrow, and that game will be between the Charlotte Hornets and the Miami Heat in Miami, Florida. It will take place at 6 p.m. Eastern Time here in the United States, so that's Sunday, October 4th, 2015, and it will be broadcast on, it's on League Pass. So I don't think it's on NBA TV. Maybe it's either on NBA TV or League Pass, one of those two. For tonight's game, there was a whole bunch of intrigue about whether this game was going to be on TV or not. What it seemed to be the case was it did turn out to be on TV, but only, it seems, for international League Pass. So for those of us in the United States who have League Pass, we couldn't access it. So I just got it from a stream from somebody else. But tomorrow's game with the Heat should be on, hopefully, for everybody. So everybody in the United States will be able to see it just as easily as everybody around the world who lives outside of the United States. Let me just say for the Magic very quickly, Andrew Nicholson had a terrific game. I've only seen him play a very little. I haven't paid a lot of attention to him. But they were talking during the broadcast about how Nicholson playing for Team Canada really improved him, and boy, did he look good in this game. He looked pretty much unstoppable down in the low post, and he was outside hitting Jays. I mean, he was 2 of 3 from three-point range. So I didn't realize this guy has this type of game, but if he's capable of this, and this is just kind of like him laying down the foundation, then this guy's got something. Also, I'd be remiss if I did not mention the 2 rookies, Frank Kaminsky of the Hornets and Mario Hezonja of the Magic. Frank Kaminsky did not play in the first half at all. As I mentioned, he did come in later. He did have a big three-pointer down the stretch of this game. Jeremy Lin found him out on the perimeter, and Frank buried almost a straight-on three. That was a nice performance. I did say that he was nervous. He was nervous, but he did settle down enough to be able to hit that big-time shot later. Mario Hezonja, 9 points, 1 rebound. He only played 10 minutes in this game, but this guy has got some ability. On one particular play, he was dribbling the ball out in isolation against Nick Batum, who's one of the better perimeter defenders in the league. Okay? Hezonja kind of walked him, stared him down, dribble, step back, 3 right in Nick Batum's face. Mario Hezonja is a 20-year-old kid. I mean, this is a young guy. This guy's got the confidence. He's got the game. And I love watching this guy play. I think this guy could really be something special. He's got a long way to go, but we know he's got the athleticism. We know he's got the confidence, but he seems to have the intangibles. He seems to have the nerve, the will, and the lack of fear to be able to get himself to the next level. So definitely keep an eye on that guy. I was very impressed. He had, I think, 2 3-pointers. No, one 3-pointer, the one I was just talking about. It wasn't on the court much, but when he was on, he was hard to miss. So I guess that's about it. Look, like I said, finally, 2015-2016 season has started. If you're a Jeremy Lin fan, this is as good as it gets because the team trusts Jeremy. They trusted him in this game. They went to him. They were looking for Jeremy Lin down the stretch of this game. They were looking for him to score, and they were looking for him to create plays. They were basically giving him the opportunity. You make the decision. You want to shoot, shoot. You want to try to score, score. You want to make the pass. We're going to trust you on these pick and rolls, and you decide, which is exactly what was happening in New York with Mike D'Antoni, and we saw the results of that. So everything that we have heard about with Jeremy, they're going to do this, and Steve Clifford understands, and Steve Clifford talked to Mike D'Antoni, and it's going to be different than this. Well, tonight was the proof right in front of our faces. Tonight, the truth of that looked very clear. They let him play. They didn't pull him out when he had 2 turnovers early. Just play your game. And like I said, it's pick and roll is one of the most basic parts of basketball, maybe the most basic, but if you run it properly, it's almost unstoppable. For those of you who are old enough to have watched the Utah Jazz in the 1990s and 1980s with Karl Malone and John Stockton, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Everybody knew what was coming, and nobody could stop it. Pick and roll, pick and roll, pick and roll. And Jeremy Lin is one of the best pick and roll guards in the league. And tonight, they played a lot of that. Pick and roll, pick and pop. Spencer Hawes, instead of cutting to the basket, he's staying 15 feet away from the basket for a jump shot. Whatever. Either way, it works. And Jeremy was finding guys all over the court. He had 7 assists, and he could have had 5 more just on shots that were missed. So I'm thrilled with what I saw. I'm happy for the Hornets. I like the direction the Hornets are going in terms of the overhauling the offense. I love the way Jeremy Lin performed in this game, and I love the way that Steve Clifford coached this game, including allowing the reserves to finish out the game, get some experience, and letting Jeremy Lin handle the ball and make the decisions. If you let him do that, good things are going to happen, and that's what we saw tonight. Okay, that is it for now. Thumbs up, thumbs down, your comments below. We'll try to get you highlights in the video description below the video player if there are any available on NBA.com. Honestly, I don't know if there will be, so I might not be able to put that in there. The only other game of this preseason that might be similar to this one, in which we're not sure if it's on or not, USA League Pass, is, I believe, October 21st against the Detroit Pistons. The Hornets have 8 preseason games. 6 of them are on either League Pass, which is NBA's streaming thing, or whatever you want to call it, NBA League Pass or NBA TV. So 6 of those games we know they're going to be on somewhere. Then there's 2 games that we're not sure about. Tonight was one of those 2 games, and then the second of the 2 games we're not sure about is, I believe, the 21st against Detroit. So hopefully we'll keep our eyes on that. We'll tell you whatever we can as soon as we know about it. But again, tomorrow's all set. That's on League Pass. Shouldn't be any problem. If you're a subscriber to League Pass, you shouldn't have any problem with that. Good win. Good. Nice to get off to a successful start. Orlando, no problem. If you're an Atlanta Magic fan, I wouldn't feel too bad. You were missing 3 of your top dudes tonight, I believe. And the crew played pretty well. I think Charlotte showed their they really got a good amount of talent up and down the roster, and they can come at you in waves because they're that deep. They can play a lot of guys, which means guys don't have to play a ton of minutes. Nobody played more than 25 minutes tonight for the Hornets. They were still able to be successful in what they wanted to do. Okay, that's it. Again, please come and follow us on Twitter. You'll find that information in the video description below the video player. Also, leave us comments in the video description below the video player. We'll try to get to any questions or comments on Twitter and on YouTube. I'm just pumped up. Like I said, I'm all geeked up. Like I don't even know what to do with myself right now. It's been a while since I've made a game video, so I'm out of practice. And I'm just so excited because this couldn't have gone any better for Jeremy Lin. This was about like a dream scenario. I mean, he was on the floor down the stretch of the game. He made the game-winning or game-sealing baskets. This is it. And everything that Charlotte said they were going to do, they did. Perfect. Perfect. Couldn't have been any better. Okay. I've said okay now about 3 times and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to get going. Looking forward to what everybody else has to say about this game. This was an enjoyable game. And like I said, if you watched a lot of Charlotte games last year, and I caught some, they weren't this fun, is probably a good way to say it. This was more up-tempo. This was more exciting than a lot of what the Hornets games were like in the previous season. So, like I said, I'm interested. I can't wait to hear what everybody thinks. I know that Jeremy Lin fans are super pumped up, but I'm also interested to hear just what do Charlotte Hornets fans think? How do you like the team like this? What do you think of the overmaking of the roster? Or do you like this offense? Do you think this team's going to be able to succeed playing this way? And so on. So let us know, and we'll be happy to talk with you about that. I will be on Twitter. I will be in the comments, and certainly we will see you again 24 hours or so from now as the Charlotte Hornets take on the powerful Miami Heat in South Florida in Miami. And let me just say one other thing. We certainly send out our thoughts and prayers and condolences to everybody that's experiencing Hurricane Joaquin in the North Carolina and South Carolina area. I've seen the pictures. I know there's a lot of flooding, a lot of damage. We hope everybody's okay. There are much more important things in life than basketball. So we certainly want to take a moment and give some consideration to those things that are more important than basketball. Okay, have a great night. Stay safe if you can, and we will talk to you again soon.